Hi. Please excuse any background noise you may hear throughout this video. If it gets too bad, I might have to cut this video. I don't know yet. There's just stuff happening. I turned my fan on, so I'm just trying to make it less noticeable. And I have some background music playing as well. But first of all, happy Halloween. This is the only reason I'm dressed this way right now. I don't actually personally really celebrate Halloween. It's kind of an American thing. But we have these cool horns. So I figured, why not? Why not? I myself am more of a Christmas girly, but why not? So anyway, now that I'm not sick anymore, even though you might still hear it a little bit, just a tiny little bit. But I was sick for a little while. And now I feel more okay to make a video again. So I'm just gonna go and try and do that. So today I want to talk about why you shouldn't maybe give up so fast when things seem to be going wrong. Because there's a possibility that it still will turn out in your favor. So I'm gonna tell you a manifestation story. And this is something that happened, just a little while ago. Basically, I was doing a voiceover gig because voiceover is my daily job. So I was doing a voiceover gig, and it was just a short gig, really not much script to say. And it's gonna go to several different channels. I think it's gonna be on social media and it's gonna be on TV as well. So I'm assuming it's also some sort of TV commercial, which is a manifestation all on its own because I wanted to do another one of these, and here it is, yet again. But this video is not really about that. This video is about how this went. So basically, I got this gig, and everything was just business as usual. First of all, I got an audition for this gig. It was offered to me to audition for this. And so I did, and then I won the audition. Great. And then came time to actually record it. And so then I recorded it. And what's pretty normal in voiceover anyway is that sometimes you will record something and the client won't like the initial take. So then you will have to do retakes. That's pretty normal. So then we had a call with the client, and this came to me through a voice bank. So there was also the voice bank agent who was facilitating all of this between the two of us. So it was a very short call with the client, just an audio call, didn't have to be on camera or anything. And they just gave me feedback, what they wanted to be different. And it was just very normal stuff, nothing out of the ordinary, really. And then the call ended, and same day I went to record the retakes for this commercial. So then I sent those over to the client, and then the voice bank agent got back to me, and they were like, it seems like the client maybe still is not happy with this, but the voice bank agent seemed pretty unsure as to if that's really the case or not. And so then I was just like, well, okay, we can always do another retake. And the voice bank agent informed this client as well that there can be another retake if they would need it. But honestly, at this point, like personally for myself, because I already done one retake, and because this was not like a huge script, and it wasn't really like anything like what I would consider difficult, I was kind of thinking in my own head that like I'm not sure how to do this any differently, because I feel like I've done my best here basically, which, you know, if you are a voice artist, then that's basically all you can do. At the end of the day, you can just do your best, just give them you know. And so I was kind of wondering, based on the last feedback that I got, where I was like, are these same errors still in there? Because I was just thinking, you know, that couldn't be, because I, you know, was paying such close attention to try and get this right. And then, so like from the perspective of law of attraction, since I was thinking in my own head that like of course we can do another retake, but I'm really not sure how to do this differently. Like maybe I would have known if there had been another call with the client. And of course the voice bank agent told the client that, you know, we can do another call if you would like. But they were just informing me that the client maybe still was not happy. And so then I was thinking, I don't know how to do this any differently. And obviously, I never want to be that voice artist who just like can't get it right for some reason. And I have to say, like I think it's almost like 8 years of doing voiceover now. In my 8 years of doing voiceover, it has never happened to me that like I can't get it right, and then I can't get it right. And this is what I was thinking was happening. Like for the first time ever in my voiceover career, I'm gonna lose this job because I can't get it right. I can't get it to their liking. Like that's what I was thinking in my own head. And then, so I was like, as you can see, I was already going down this negative track, especially because this hadn't really happened to me before. Because, you know, usually when I do my voiceover gigs, it's like it seems to be the case for me that I either get it like first time or I get it second time. Like I get it right the first time or the second time. But it's not like I have to like keep on doing it over and over and over again. That hasn't really been my experience before. And so this time around, I was just like, I'm not sure, like, what am I doing wrong here in this case? Or am I just like misunderstanding the client? Or like what is really going on here? And of course, you know, I'm always open to doing it as many times as we need to do it, because I also want this end product to be perfect and to their liking. And so, of course, I was thinking in my head, well, I will do it as long as they want me to do it, basically, and I will try as many different ways as I can think of and, you know, do my best to take their direction. But it just hadn't been a problem for me before. So I was just like wondering, am I like not taking this direction well, or like what is it? Because I would consider it actually these days like one of my strengths is taking direction well. Because it's something that I've like consciously worked on. Because when I first got into acting, I didn't really take it well, because I thought as a very young actor, I thought these were like personal attacks towards me or something. But of course they're not. Like, if you're an actor, you know it's not about that. But if this is the way that you're thinking about it, if you've just gotten into this and you're thinking about it that way, then you might see it that way. So then it's something that you need to work on. Because obviously you need to be able to take direction as an actor. It's just an everyday part of this job. Voiceover is the same way. And so I was just thinking, like, am I not taking the direction well, or am I misunderstanding it somehow, or we have two different visions of how this needs to turn out? I was not sure. And so I was ready to do it again. But the voice bank agent said that, yeah, client maybe is not happy, but we're gonna keep you posted. And this happened sometime during the day. And then I was going off on this like negative track of like getting honestly kind of insecure about myself and about my acting ability and everything, because it just had not happened before. I was like, am I really doing such a bad job? I don't understand what's happening. And so, but then I know that if you get into this kind of mindset, what are you going to start manifesting? You're going to start manifesting, potentially losing the job, which was what I was afraid of. Because I was like, this would be really shitty because, well, I won the audition, so they liked something about that. But now I can't actually do the thing. That's what it seems like to me. And I'm not understanding why I can't do the thing, basically. So it would be a shitty thing for me to, like, lose this job. And of course, as somebody, like, this is my daily job, I don't want to lose the gig because, then I lose out on what it pays, and I need that for my livelihood and everything. So that wouldn't be like a wanted manifestation in my experience. But since I know about manifestation and I know like how this works, then I could think in my head, okay, I'm going off on this negative track right now. I'm catastrophizing this whole thing. I'm thinking about how this could turn out really badly for me. And so, of course, because I was thinking things like that, my mood was just like dropping as well. So you can tell you're getting to like a very low vibrational place if your mood is dropping like this because of the thoughts that you think in your own head. This is not about the situation. It's not about the circumstances. It's not about the client or anything. It's just about the thoughts in my own head that I'm thinking about this thing right now. And that's what's making my mood drop. And so I knew that. But as I've talked about before, if momentum gets going, so you like can't get off of this negative track immediately because, well, you've been thinking this way for a while, so now you're kind of stuck thinking this way. You can't immediately stop it, and you can't immediately like become positive and be like, oh, everything's gonna be fine, because you don't feel that way. So because momentum was now going, I couldn't really stop it. Like, I couldn't stop myself from feeling like shit. And I got like a lot of momentum going really, really quickly, because if you think a lot of things really quickly in your own head, and these are all of a negative nature, now you get all of this negative momentum going very quickly. And so, what can I do now that this momentum is going? The only thing I can do is just slow it. So that's what I started to do. I started trying to get my mind off of this thing a little bit, even though I knew that this is a big enough deal for me that I'm not really gonna be able to get my mind off of it right now. And so I was just working on some of my videos and I was just like adding chapters to my videos as like a thing to do, so I wouldn't have to think about this so much. And at the same time, I was trying to think some better feeling thoughts. Not good feeling thoughts, just better feeling thoughts. Because, I was in a very shitty feeling place, so I didn't have access to really good feeling thoughts. So then I would think stuff like, this experience, like if I were to lose this job right now, it's kind of like an outlier. Like, this is not my usual experience whatsoever in voiceover. This is like the first time something like that would be happening to me if this happened to me. Is it really that big of a deal? If I lose the job, like I would ask myself, is it really that big of a deal? And then I would think, financially, I'm actually in a good place right now. So it's not really gonna affect me that much if I do lose this gig. It's still gonna suck, yes, but it won't be the end of the world. And then I would just think about what my usual experience is, which is that, like, normally I'm able to take direction really well, and I build lasting relationships with these clients, especially these days. And I am able to give them what they want. And normally, everyone, like by the time we get to the end product, everyone leaves the experience like really happy that everything worked out. And it's always like, until next time then. Because now we have like a working relationship and everything. Like, that's my normal experience. So I would just think about that. And then I would think about the fact that this is an uncontrollable condition from my perspective right now. This is just a condition that just is. Like, I can't affect it in any way right now because I've already sent in my takes and the client has got them, and now they just have to decide what they're gonna do. So there's nothing for me to do right now. I can't go like, I don't know, begging this client to like not drop me or whatever. And I can't send in more takes unless they say that they want more takes, which they could have said, but they didn't end up saying. So there's literally nothing I can do about this right now. And that's what I was thinking in my head. There's nothing I can do about this condition right now. So I might as well just try to relax. It's not the end of the world if I lose the gig. And then I would already start thinking about what I'm gonna do if that happens. Like, what is my plan for making myself feel better, basically? If this happens, how do I make myself feel better? Because, I have to go on with my life no matter what happens. And I don't want these conditions of my own life to be throwing myself around emotionally. And I know that I can feel better no matter what is going on. So these were some of the better feeling thoughts that I would think. But I was still in a pretty shitty place. And then I would just accept it. I would be like, okay, well, I'm in a shitty place right now. Makes sense considering what I'm thinking and what appears to be going on right now. And obviously this is something important to me. This is my work, and I don't want to do a bad job, and I don't want the client to have to accept something they don't think is up to standard or perfect by their standards. I don't want them to have to accept something that isn't perfect in their eyes, So obviously this matters to me. So it makes sense that I would be feeling this way. And if this is an experience that I'm meant to have, I don't view it as like a lesson or something. But sometimes, I'm going to link a video here in which I talked about this. Sometimes your higher self will call you through these unwanted experiences so that you would ask for more clarity, which is something that you really, really do want. And so I was thinking maybe it's an experience like that. I would consider this an unwanted experience if I lose the job. And also, it's kind of an unwanted experience for me as an actor if I keep on not getting things right for some reason. But maybe I need to have this experience for some kind of clarity. That's what I would think. And then I was just like, I guess, universe, take this off of me because I don't know what to do about this. I have no idea what to do, and I don't think I can do anything right now anyway. So how about you handle this, universe, because I don't know what to do. And then I just I went to lie down and just try to relax, just feel a little less shitty. And then I noticed that my left palm started itching, and I don't know if you have this in your country, but in my country, if your left palm starts itching, it means money is incoming. That's like a belief, I guess, that we have. And if your right palm is itching, it means you're about to meet somebody. Some people say that it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter which palm is itching, it always means money is coming. But in my country, left palm, money is coming, right palm, some person is coming. So my left palm started itching. So I was just like, okay, I wonder if that's a sign. But I didn't think much more about it because I was still feeling pretty shitty. And then I want to say, because by now this was evening, and when the voice bank agent had told me that the client is maybe not happy still, that had been during the day. But now it was evening, so I kind of was not expecting to hear anything back from them for the day. But they did still get back to me. The voice bank agent got back to me, and they said, this was 30 minutes, not more than 30 minutes after I had this palm itching thing. And so the voice bank agent just said, the client has approved all of your recordings, so thank you so much for assisting on this order. And so then I asked the agent, okay, does this mean that I don't have to re-record anything? Does this mean that they were happy with this after all? And the agent said, yes, they are happy with this. And no, there's nothing else to do anymore. And that was that. So, but the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I feel like that happens to a lot of us, that we are sometimes in the middle of some kind of manifestation that seems like it's not going our way. And it seems like it cannot possibly turn around because everything seems to be going downhill. And so now the question becomes, is there still something you can do, with your vibration? Because usually when something's already unfolding like this, you just kind of have to write it out. But in this case, I actually do think that perhaps me just trying to make myself feel better and just also trying to just accept the situation, I think that was changing my vibration about it, because I could have gone on this very negative track and not even trying to stop myself in any kind of way. And then I do think that maybe I would have just gotten dropped from the job. So it's an interesting thing to think about. What really happened here in terms of law of attraction? What happened? I really think it is a fact that what happened was that I still, even though I did not get to this like very good feeling place, I managed to feel less shitty. It's like I went emotionally from feeling, kind of sort of discouraged and I would say insecure, which is that's a pretty low vibration to be in, to a place of almost like, I guess it was pessimism. This probably isn't going to work out for me. I went from thinking like, what am I doing wrong, and am I such a bad actor, and it probably isn't gonna work out for me, but I think I'll be okay if that happens. Like almost kind of sort of like bored with this condition. Not really so emotionally affected by it anymore. Like the feeling was not so intense anymore. But it was still bad. But just less bad. Because I couldn't get to a good feeling place from there. Too much momentum in that negative direction. And the second thing that I think happened here is that I have been working on my beliefs about abundance and my limiting beliefs about abundance, because there are different types of it. Like there is the abundance of time, for example, the abundance of knowledge, let's say, the abundance of money, like different types of abundance. But vibrationally speaking, it's all the same vibration. Abundance is just energy. It's an energetic state. And it doesn't matter which type you want more of, it is the same vibration. It feels the same way. It feels very sure and secure and like never ending. And you don't feel like this is something that you have to worry about. So I have been working on that because I've said this before too, like I want to be more financially secure. And I have become more financially secure. But I want even more than that, because I think that since we are here to experience whatever we want, why the fuck not? Abundance in all of its forms is supposed to flow to us easily. It's not supposed to be a struggle. But why it is a struggle for a lot of us is because we just have these limiting beliefs in the way that don't let it come easily. So this is something that I have been working on, because since this is something that I care about, and I would like to have more of it, more of all kinds of abundance, and yes, financial abundance as well, I have been working on that. So that's another thing that I have been doing that I feel like affected this situation, because I just feel that my feeling of abundance in my everyday life, it has just become stronger because I have been focusing on these things that I do have an abundance of. If you want to manifest more money, you don't necessarily need to think about money, because abundance is all one and the same vibration. You can think of anything that would make you feel abundant. So like in my case, I would think about things like, well, I have an abundance of time. I really am able to, most of the time, just get up and go, just go for a walk or go for a nap or whatever, because my job allows that. I have these, breaks that really suit me, like natural feeling breaks in my job. And also, since I record at nights, that means during the day I can just do what I want to do. That is a sort of abundance, if that makes sense. And then I would think about abundance of knowledge in terms of universal laws. This is something that I care about, something that matters to me, knowledge of these laws. And so I would just think about the fact that I have been learning this for a pretty long time now. And I do have what I feel like is like a pretty good understanding of how this all works. And I would just think about that. An abundance of knowledge on universal laws. So that is just a way to practice this feeling of abundance. But what that is going to do is that it is eventually going to bring you more money as well, because it's all the same vibration, as I keep on saying. And so I think that also affected the outcome of this, because I had become more sure about the fact that more money is going to keep on coming, even if I don't know where it's going to come from. Because honestly, for me, I never know where it's going to come from, because I never know what my next gig is going to be. And of course, it doesn't always come from work necessarily, but if it does come from work, I never know what my next gig is going to be. And so I never know like how much is going to come next. But I do know from Abraham Hicks that this pile of money that you have in your life, this pile of money is basically indicative of more piles coming. That's what it means. It's not like this finite thing where you can't get any more. It is actually an indicator that you are gonna get more. If you can find a way to like relax about it and trust that you will get more. And this is what I have been able to do. And so I feel like that just affected this manifestation. Especially because since this was one of these gigs where it's like I would have gotten paid anyway. Like I would have gotten paid for my effort. Like for the stuff that I'd already recorded. I would have gotten paid for that, right? But there's also like with something like a commercial, there is always usage fees, which for a voice actor, like this is where the price can really go up. So it's like I would have gotten paid anyway for the stuff that I had already recorded, even if the client had like dropped me or decided that they were not going to use the things that I had recorded. I would have gotten paid something for it anyway, which is a good thing. But if the client, doesn't drop you, and if they are happy in the end, and if they do decide that they are going to use the work that you did for them, this is where these usage fees come in. Like for how long they can use these recordings. And this is where you can, as a voice actor, make like considerably more money. I think because I have been having more of this abundance vibration going on, I didn't get dropped. And they still decided to use my thing, so these usage fees got like put on top of what I would have already made because of the effort that I'd put in, right? So I just wanted to talk about this because I want you to see that sometimes when things seem to be turning out wrong, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are. Things could still turn around for you. If you could just get to this place emotionally that feels at the same time like acceptance of if it doesn't work out for you, but also feels like, it could work out. maybe it will work out. Like, have you ever tried to ask yourself questions like that when something like this happens? What if it can work out for me? You don't know. After all, the situation is not resolved yet. It could work out for you. But the question is, are you able to switch your mindset even just a little bit? Again, I was not able to get to a very, very positive place, but I was able to just switch my mindset enough to start asking these questions of like, but what if this does work out for me in the end anyway? What if the universe is able to like do some kind of something here to make this work out for me? So this is what I wanted to talk about as my first video after my illness. And if you want to know, what does it mean when you get ill? Like, what does law of attraction have to do with that? I am going to link this video at the end of this video, if you are interested in checking that out. So, happy Halloween, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.